Hello and welcome everybody to WooPlayer Q&A weekly webinar call. We're running a little bit late, well not a little bit more than a little bit late for this week's call due to the time zone differences with daylight savings and all that on the Western Hemisphere. So if anybody's here and if you can hear me as well as see my screen, you can just confirm so in the chat box, and then we can get started. Hopefully you have some questions ready that we can start tackling because we're kind of short on time. Thank you. I just got an okay from Kimberly. Hi, Kimberly. Seems like nobody else is tuning in. So we're just going to get started, and if somebody joins in the meantime, they're more than welcome to. So we're holding the weekly WooPlayer Q&A weekly webinars in order to answer any questions from users, also to provide feedback, to gather feedback on any ways in which we can improve Player, also to provide training on any advanced features, as well as to showcase new things that we've been working on. Stefano is joining too. Hello, Stefano. Again, sorry for the confusion with the times there. Just a brief introduction, my name is Peter. I am the product manager of WooPlayer, and I'll be answering your questions today. So due to some time constraints that we have, I would suggest we just dive straight into the questions. So if you have came with some prepared questions or have something that you would want to discuss, that's the format of this webinar. Just type it out in the chat box and we'll start answering them in the order that they come in. So we have all types of different questions on how a particular feature performs, as well as how can I accomplish something within WooPlayer, and so on and so on. So don't be shy. We get all types of questions. Just drop them in the chat box when you can. Until such time, there is one announcement that I wanted to make for this week's call, and I'll kind of rush through this with the video ads in WooPlayer kind of currently being facilitated. Let me just open up WooPlayer as well so I can get it. So currently, the support for ads, just give me a second. I think that's right. Nope. I can't spell my own name. All right, there we go. So with the support for ads in WooPlayer currently being basically locked down to the pre and post roll video features. So currently, if you want to have some sorts of ads on your videos and promote them and monetize your videos in any way, currently the only way of doing that inside of WooPlayer is by utilizing the pre and post roll video feature to have an ad before your video and also have an ad after your video, and that way you can monetize it by getting some sponsors to promote on your video content. So one of the new things that we are working on integrating is the support for a somewhat more direct and dynamic approach to video ads through the standardization of VAST and VPaid video ads, which are streams that a lot of different companies provide, ad companies provide, and they provide you with an XML and then you're going to very soon have the ability to enter in that XML feed directly inside of VooPlayer, which is going to serve dynamic ads. So ads based on location, based on recent web views, and so on, so on, and so on. So this is going to allow you for significantly higher monetization of your video content. So if you're curious about monetizing your videos, which you're currently hosting within VooPlayer, and are wondering how to do that, we didn't necessarily have a direct answer to that thus far. But with the integration of the VPaid and VAST streams, that's something that's going to be integrated pretty soon, and we're kind of excited about it because it opens up the door to a lot of monetization opportunities for utilizing your content and also other people's content to monetize those videos. So that's one announcement that I wanted to cover, and I just want to check if there are any questions thus far. No. So again, we're kind of short on time today. So if you have some questions that you would like to see answered, I do advise typing them out in the chat box as soon as possible. Stefano, is there the possibility to open a link to a video in VooPlayer as a pop-up? Now I can see only the possibility to do this with code embedding, not through a link. Hope it makes sense. It does make sense, but I don't necessarily know how that would work. So where would that link point to, Stefano? Is there a possibility to open a link to a video? Is there a possibility to open a link to a video in VooPlayer as a pop-up? Is there a possibility to open a link to a video in VooPlayer as a pop-up? So if I'm not necessarily sure how that would work, because a link works as a link and it takes you to a different page. So we could have a pop-up on that page, but what would that page be? So if you would want, there's a couple of possibilities that you have with customizing pop-ups. So if I come over here to publish options, and this is the feature which you're referring to, is I can embed it somewhere on my code, and that way that can live, and when somebody clicks on the link or the image, that then a pop-up opens. However, if I have something as a link, there's no way to treat that as a pop-up. That would literally just take somebody to a page, so that couldn't open a pop-up in any way. However, if we wanted a specific link that would have a pop-up on it, I mean, that's kind of defeating the purpose. But there's one thing that I would like to kind of signify here, is that if you have a page for which you want a pop-up to appear on without any clicks, or if you just want to link to a page that opens up a pop-up, one of the configurations that we provide that's worth considering is the ability for a full screen pop-up. Turning that on will turn any page into a pop-up. So if you embed this code on any page and you have a full screen pop-up enabled, then you can do that. One thing that I also recommend to people when they are dealing with pop-ups and some custom situations which they would like to see handled in different use cases and so on, is that if the given capacities of the pop-up configuration are not satisfying your need, there is nothing stopping you from doing something like this. So you just grab the regular embed code, and then you just get a pop-up plugin for your website. So let's take FancyBox, or I guess there's a new version of it. So this is for historical purposes. So you just take FancyBox or Lightbox or anything like that, and you can create your own custom pop-ups, and all of them support entering in HTML as the content for those pop-ups. That way you can just use the embed code inside of any pop-up that you're able to develop. So I'm not necessarily sure, as Shade said, you can achieve whatever you want with different plugins, different page elements, and so on in your content builders. But So instead of using the pop-up as is configured in Vue Player, you're also able to use the embed code directly within any pop-ups that you're able to develop on your own. All right, so let's keep moving. For funnels, you can connect a series of videos where the viewer only has to enter their email in the first video in the series, and that email identifier will stick through the video series. That is not correct. So the current behavior is if you have two videos connected by a funnel and both of them have an email opt-in, then it will require the user to fill out both opt-ins. That way, just because they're treated as completely separate videos. And kind of the purpose of the funnel, I don't necessarily know why you would need an email opt-in for a funnel, because the funnel on its own has a lead capture form. So if I come over here to video funnels, and I don't know what this is. So if I come over here to test, and on finish, I have a opportunity to gather lead information. That's going to give me a form for the viewer to enter in their name and email address. So that way we're able to capture that information. However, if you are utilizing videos inside of the funnel which have their own opt-ins, they will always appear regardless of if the user or a viewer has already filled them out. Use case would be like in courses. Yeah, but if you're building a funnel, I believe that like a dynamic course, I don't know why you would want to capture an email on different videos. So if you're building an interactive course with some questions like, hey, do you think A, B, or C are right? And then they click B, I don't know why you would necessarily want to capture an email after that. So if you want to capture an email up front, you're able to do that in the first starting video, just by setting an opt-in gate on top of that. But I don't necessarily see that you would need that in the subsequent videos. However, to answer this question a little bit more deeply, because I think I see where you're heading with this, is if somebody entered in an email on the first video and watched all of the videos in the funnel, yes, all of the different views for all of the different videos in that session will be attributed to that email. So once you go to the analytics, and you're going to have an opportunity to see viewers by their emails, then you can select a particular viewer, and you will see that all of the different views which they saw. Yeah, right. I might have misunderstood that question there. I thought there was different email opt-in. So if you had just one email opt-in on the funnel, on the first video in the funnel, and you capture the email right away, you would be able to in analytics see all of the videos which they've watched throughout the funnel. So yeah, that's the answer to that. Ron, here's a video question. So let me pull this up. You're not going to be able to hear it, but I'll hear it and transcribe it. So let's see what Ron has to say. So I think I'm getting the gist of this, so I'm going to just kind of pause it there. So the question that Ron is pondering on is, can the link of the pop-up embed be changed? Can the color of that link be changed? So I'm assuming what Ron did is he came over here to publish in a video, and then he got the pop-up code with the link. I don't know what he says there. Watch video explanation. So he probably had watch video explanation here, and he grabbed that code and put it on his website over here, and he's wondering if that color can be customized. The answer is, of course, yes. So important to note here is that Vue Player has no impact on this color. this is the color which is provided by the theme which you're using. So this is just styling on your website. So ronmettler.com. So let me just open this up. So let's try and find those videos over here. So I think that those are those links, and yes, they are. I confirm that. So this video is not specified, this color is not specified by VooPlayer, but it's rather specified by your own site. So if we could just take a look a little bit between that, we can see that this color, which is defining these links, is specified by the index on your site. So you could easily change their color to anything. And if you want to, rather than going into your, I don't know if this is a WordPress site, going into your theme settings and trying to figure out the default color, let me just check. The admin, just check if this is a WordPress site. You must log in to access the admin area. So it looks like it is, but with some sort of a custom setup. So if this is a WordPress site, then this color is dictated by the theme which you have on your WordPress site. So what I would do is I would just go to the theme settings and just modify the color for the links, because I'll come over here and I'll just enter in a new link over here just to show you what I mean. So if I come over here and say equals VooPlayer, VooPlayer.com, VooPlayer. Okay, so we're just going to enter in a new link there. So I just pasted in a normal link here. So what you can do is just add a link anywhere in these. So this is just a basic link to VooPlayer, has nothing to do with the pop-up or that embed code for the pop-up, and your theme is treating it with this color. It's just a theme that it's just a color that your theme gave to all of the links. So basically what you can do, as I said, just to reiterate, is go to your theme settings in WordPress and look for a configuration on default color for the links. All right, cool. Glad we can answer that, Ron. Let's see if I skipped over any questions. Doesn't look like I did. Okay, gotcha. I need to set that feature in the website where I host the video then. Yep, correct. For Stefano. I don't see any other questions. So as I said, sorry for having to cut this one short a little bit, guys. We'll make it up next week with some extended training. We were just confused on the time zones, and that's what caused both the delay and the shortened webinar today. Stefano has one more question. What is the level of security of a video hosted somewhere else, which I use in VooPlayer? So that's a good question. So VooPlayer, as you all probably know, offers a pretty advanced method of encryption for your videos that makes it impossible for anybody to download or decrypt that video if it's been encrypted on VooPlayer. So the Stefano's question is, what is the level of security if I don't upload the video directly to VooPlayer, but rather link to it somewhere externally? So unfortunately, the answer to that is there is no added levels of security, because we're not able to do anything to that stream. Basically, wherever you're hosting it is responsible for the security of that source. So if you're just pasted on Dropbox, whatever the security levels are on Dropbox, that's what the security in VooPlayer is going to be. We don't implement any additional transcoding or encryptions of the video streams which are hosted externally, which is why we always provide, if you are concerned with security and people not stealing your content, then we strongly recommend uploading your videos directly to VooPlayer. All right, hopefully that answers that, Stefano. What else did I want to say? No more questions. Okay. All right. Cool. So I'm going to start wrapping it up. Maybe time for one more question if somebody wants to chime in. Aside from that, I want to thank you, everybody, for joining this week. Sorry one last time for the delayed start. Stefano, one more question. Let's see. Use that feature in my Invento e-learning platform for the reason that it avoids a direct download link. Yep. Not sure. I can you phrase that as a question? Is it a question? Alan is saying I'm on a sub account which is still on version 3. I am unable to upload videos. Can this be ported to version 4? I'm not sure why you wouldn't be able to upload videos on version 3. Version 3 from our end is not actively supported, especially considering that you're a sub account. So I would definitely reach out through your master account in order to resolve any issues. We're not supporting sub accounts. B, we are no longer supporting version 3. So just reach out if you're not aware or can't get a hold of your master account. Just send us a message at support@woolplayer.com, and we can look up that information for you and maybe quickly troubleshoot if it's an obvious issue. Not a question, just a use case. All right, cool. All right, need to wrap this up. All right, so thank you once more. A lot of good questions today. I'm sorry it's been short, and hopefully you'll join next week, and you're gonna keep helping us improve WoolPlayer. All right, thank you, everybody. Bye.